Hi, this is Melanie Dawn, and this is Dawn of Wisdom. I hope everybody has a great weekend planned. I am going to walk, of course, and just go to garage sale at my son's house, and yeah, it's gonna be good. So today, I want to talk about the adult chair. It is a podcast. A podcast that I listen to. It's hosted by Michelle Chalfant. If you guys are interested, go to wherever you listen to your podcast and look up The Adult Chair. It's amazing. Start from the first episode and learn all about this model. The podcast talks about the 3 stages of life and learning how to live authentically in the adult chair. It's a wonderful podcast. It's one of the first podcasts that I started listening to, I believe, in 2014, and it literally has just saved my life. I have a local Zoom meeting I do now. For now, hopefully we'll meet in person. It's local, gathering the third Monday of each month at 6 o'clock. And I lead this meeting. I'm called ATAC Ambassador. And as much as I like to talk, it's scary for me. I've done 2 of them, and the first one I had like 1 person, and the second one none. And they say this is normal because it's building, and it has to be people in the area because the goal is to meet in person and meet with like-minded people, which would be absolutely heaven. Okay, the adult chair. I'm going to read from the adult chair some stuff off the website. So if anyone wants to look up the adult chair and read about it, please do. It's an amazing approach that will help you recognize how your life experiences have shaped you. You learn to regain control, discover your most authentic self. It's just a much easier way to live by looking and being aware of all those parts that make up who we are today. We can become aware of why we do what we do. We learn to identify the wounds, and that's the most beautiful thing is being aware. The wounds that hold us back can transform the way the wounds impact our lives. All right, the adult chair method. We are made up of 3 parts: the child, the adolescent, and the adult. We think we must be as an adult, and we ignore that we our inner child or adolescents are all a part of us. They didn't just go away. They're still there. They're all of us. Let's talk about the child chair first. Your inner child forms 0 to 7 years. It is the foundation of true feelings and needs. That sweet inner child is an essential part of who we are and how you connect to your inner child. The inner child is deeply vulnerable. It is when our early wounding can occur. It shapes our views of the world. We find creativity, passion, trust, intimacy. It's just an innocent time in our life. The adolescent chair, we begin to develop identity. We start to separate the world around us as the ego forms, the desire to protect ourselves, whether real or imagined, begins. When in the adolescent chair, we become perfectionists, judgmental, controlling. We develop a mask to hide our authentic selves. We then, in our adolescence, form a world that seems cold and rejecting. I have lived here most of my life. It's where a lot of me formed until we become aware and decide we are ready to change. I lived in my adolescence. I had no clue that there was any other way to live until I started this model. The adult chair represents your highest self, living in the present moment, dealing with facts, truth, over stories and assumptions. We are able to set boundaries with patience and compassion. We can connect with our inner child's needs and feelings, and we learn to objectively observe our adolescent's behavior. In the adult chair, we can become aware of and learn to overcome the emotional triggers and negative patterns that have held us back, that hold us back. This is life-changing. It breaks down what it means to be human and learn to accept all the parts of us. The past, present, it's a beautiful model to follow. It doesn't mean that we don't go back to those parts of us that we're so familiar with. With me, it's the adolescence chair. But I am now aware. I'm very aware of it, and I can come back to it, and I can kind of explore it. It's a manual for life. I often go back and listen to the adult chair when you understand what chair you are in. At any moment, you will gain greater self-awareness. That's the best way I can say it. Do you ever ask yourself, how is my child part of my adult self? It is the core of you. Your child is very important in understanding self. I think we grow up feeling that we have to be adult. We think we're being an adult. And we just strive to be there so much that it causes us such anxiety. And we don't realize we are all three: child, adolescent, and adult. We are all of them. The child does not go away. Our child is always there. I mean, come on, look at the pictures of Burning Man. That is exactly what they try to create. We are child. Our child is so important to being aware. It is the first step to understanding, to learning. If we don't get our love and fulfillment and as a child grows, it goes into our adolescence, our adult. It just all makes sense. If we have to go back and explore that child in us. I think what fucks us up, it is the belief that we are adults and therefore we should act adult. I want to scream from the rooftops. We live in all three chairs. In the child chair, we find intimacy and vulnerability, fun, passion, creativity. If you do not have the above, and I had none, it makes it very difficult to live in your adult chair without being aware of your child. When I first started to practice this model, the adult chair, I had no connection with my child. I started doing guided meditations through the adult chair, guided by Michelle Chalfant. I connected with that sweet little girl who felt unloved, fear, neglect. I lack trust. I did not trust or feel safe. She's just a scared little girl. Through this meditation, which I do often, I connect with my inner child. I become aware of how sad and scared she was. I can now hug and hold her. I am becoming one with her, and I am her. This is just a part of me, as it's a part of all of us. The adolescence, this is the most difficult for me because I lived here most of my life, controlling, protective, pretending I am good when I am just scared. My adolescence has saved me from vulnerability, which was very scary. Understanding that most of my behaviors are from my adolescence, I am able to stop and catch it before it becomes destructive to me and to others. I love my adolescence. This part of me has kept me safe and protected me from perceived danger. How I connect, I am more aware. Number one, I am aware of it now. I allow myself to see her in all her glory. My adolescence is a part of me. My shame comes from this part of me. My innocent little girl needed the adolescence for self-protection. It still does. We all have these three parts of us. The adult, this is represents your highest self, facts, truth, and consciousness. This model teaches us how to live in the adult, but makes us very aware of the child and the adolescence. And we must be to be able to live in the adult chair. We can learn to live in the present moment, observe our thoughts, connect to our emotions, set boundaries, respond instead of react, feel empowered. Yeah, it's a great model, and I encourage everyone to get on it and listen and follow from the first episode, which is the child chair, and go follow her all along. And then every week she puts out a podcast, and they're usually amazing. I started back in my therapy today, and it was quite an eye-opener. I've been thinking I need to go, and something happened a while back that really triggered a lot of this childhood pain, this adolescence feeling that I have, and a lot of my defensiveness, a lot of my taking things personally, all started to come up. I become very tearful. I want to cry. I don't want to be around anybody. I'm snappy at little parts of me that are parts of me. Begin to come up. And what I do is I know that I need to talk to someone. I need to talk to someone that's not going to judge me, talk to someone that's not expecting anything from me, talk to someone that is going to just allow me to get crazy with my thoughts and speak my craziness. And so I met with my therapist for the first time yesterday. Yes, I'm sorry. And I loved her. She was very motherly, lady probably in her 70s. I was very nervous about going, but I was like a waterfall. Once I got in there, she listened, and she opened my eyes to a lot of things that I have not thought about. And I have some strong feelings about my mother, about my biological father, about other members of my family, about other people in my lives. I have these strong feelings about them, and she helped me through those, and I will see her every week, and I will work through it. And we all need to be able to recognize when we need help. We can listen to a podcast, we can love it, we can go back to it, and I go back to this one often. But we always have to be aware as an adult when we need to go back and talk to someone, when we need to talk to a professional, a therapist, a coach, whatever that may be. Be aware when you need to do that, and that's what I'm doing now. And I'll share with you as I go along. I'm very open and vulnerable about things I go through, and I like to share them with you guys. All right, the third Monday of every month, I have a Zoom meeting regarding the teachings of the adult chair. I hope to all meet in person soon and talk about this model. You can find me on the adult chair /TAC ambassador. Look up the ambassador in your area, and you can find a TAC ambassador. They're all over the world. I happen to be in Grover Beach, and you can find me, and you can get in, and you can hang out with me on the adult chair TAC ambassador site, and we can talk about anything that comes up for you during the month, whatever it may be. And that's what it's all about, without judgment. We just talk, and then someday we'll meet in person, go to the park, go down to the beach, and talk about our thoughts and what we happen to be going through without judgment. It's going to be beautiful. I have a plan for this. I feel it's my passion to do this. So you can find me at nurse.mello@yahoo.com, Nurse Mello on Instagram and Facebook, and I hope you have a great weekend.